very good day everybody. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko. I will be your captain for today's flight. And today's flight is again going to be taking us in the Fenix Airbus A320. Just for continuity, just to stay reacquainted with the aircraft, stay connected to the aircraft, and all that miserable crap. And we're going to fly from Portugal to the United Kingdom. We'll be flying from Lisbon Airport to London. It's going to be like a 2-hour flight altogether, something like that. We're using real-world time and real-world weather, DEGEX, the Aerosoft Simple traffic tool. And the livery for today's flight is the British Airways livery. We're parked here at gate 145, I believe. I'm not really sure. We'll see what that really is. But here we are, Lisbon Airport, real time, real weather. So the sun is still up in the sky, but in about 2 hours, probably, it might be close to setting once we arrive at London Heathrow Airport. But the weather down here at the moment looks very good. So I didn't check the temperature or anything, but let's just get on inside the aircraft. We have connected the ground power, so just going to turn on both of the batteries. As usual, I always like to start up the entire aircraft from cold. That's always, I don't know, it's just the nicest thing, and it's also, you just know what is on and what is not on and what you're doing, you know, otherwise I don't really like that very much. So there we have external power on. So supply, crew oxygen supply, any ground control. Let's put the strobe to auto, any nav lights there. And we arm the emergency exit lights. And let's also get the aiders aligned, so they can all go to nav. And let's also get some overhead intake lights. Although it's still very light and bright here on the flight deck, as you can see outside it's the same situation. So the aircraft are performing some self-diagnostic checks at the moment. So let's actually look at the weather. So LPPT METAR, let's see if we can refresh. So we're looking 340 knots at 340 degrees at 19 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers, scattered clouds at 2,417 degrees, QNH 1019er. Alright. And let's also check what the current weather is at our destination. That will be wind 090 at 7 knots, 10 kilometers, scattered clouds at 3,700 feet, broken at 4,700 feet, 15 degrees, QNH 1021. So that's a quick little weather update. So local QNH 1019er. So we got that, the flight plan is in there as well. So I guess we probably maybe just start with GSX. So thinking the door is probably open since we have the jetways connected and the door there is open. So let's go to mass and balance, resend load sheet. Planned 113 passengers. And the planned fuel will be 8,049. And the tanks currently is 3,000. So that is not enough. So we'll say load aircraft, and then we can say GSX boarding only. And then we'll load the fuel instantly. There, we just added 5,000 more kilograms of fuel. So that's all doing its own thing. We're going to get the passengers to start boarding shortly. So ATSU and AOC menu, flight in it, just to get started here. So we request our init from here, so the flight number will be British Airways 812. We want to attach the pushback target now. I do not. 812 for our flight number. Let's have a look at our OFP. The cost index 21 and cruising altitude 360. And then we can see average wind component plus 30. So that's a tailwind. Then we got block fuel 8049 and the final reserves 2328. There's our passengers boarding.
Passengers boarding started.
Okay, so you get cost index 21, cruising 360. So cost index 21, cruising 360. We'll go outside, see if we can. There you go, there are our passengers. Always nice when you can actually see them walk through the jetway. That's probably why GSX developed this little program, right? Because we think it's cool. Let me open the door to the flight deck as well. Because we have a sort of an open door policy kind of way. There you go. Alright, so let's get back into our seats. Hello? There, alright. So let's get our winds as well. Wind request.
This way.
There's a little bit of music, ambient music being played in the cabin.
This way, please.
I don't think that's a feature from GSX. I think there's actually a feature from the Fenix Airbus. Okay, that's our winds. For the flight plan, we'll be departing from Portugal, departure. So let's have a look at what we can expect, routing and impacts. So default route will be departing runway 02 with the IXIDA 1 November departure. So runway 02, we'll do that first, and then we get the IXIDA 1 November departure. And we can insert that into the flight plan, and that is there. And then we click on the Heathrow, arrival, and what are they saying? 09er left with the ROXOG 1 hotel. So ILS 09er left. I'm looking for the ROXOG 1 back. ROXOG 1 hotel. That's the ROXOG 1 hotel for 09er left. So we insert that as well, and now we have the entire flight plan in here. It could be a route discontinuity. Usually that will be around the time that you're really close to approach, as usual. So we'll look at that later. But for the rest, it looks like we have the entire flight plan sitting right here, looking all pretty and beautiful. So that's something we can work with, isn't it? Secondary for now, we'll just start by copying the active.
Welcome on board. This way, please.
Right, so for the init B page, this one, let's actually get some intake lights here as well. We go to the let's see, ATSU and then AOC menu, and then here on the received messages we can see our like a company message. There should be a message, as you can see, company message, and that is giving us our preliminary load sheet. So we got some data from here. So we got 0 fuel weight 54.6.
Hello.
Then the 0 fuel weight center of gravity, I think we'll still have to look actually here. So we'll have to do this later, but for now I do want to have something in there that we can get going in any case. So 28.4, we'll just use that for now. Not sure if that's the correct one. 28.4, and we'll put that in there. Number block fuel should be basically 8.
Hello.
We have the fuel on board, so maybe we can also turn on the seatbelt sign.
Hello.
And then performance page. So it's a good thing that the passengers have started boarding.
This way, please.
We could maybe let them finish. We got 60 passengers out of 113. So our departure runway, I believe, was 02. Let's have a look at the airport from here.
Welcome on board.
So runway 02. We'll get there via uniform 2. So we'll push back with the nose to the left, getting us onto Alpha 4. And I will take a left. If that is Alpha 5, that will be where we'll take a left, but we'll take a left turn here. And this, again, this always looks more complicated than it is when you actually start driving there, but it's a good idea. Sometimes they can get actually a little bit complicated. So push back nose to the left. We probably just get out Tango 3 and then take a left turn. It does look a little bit funny if you want to go to uniform 2, that would have to be via uniform 3 there. So we could also like go straight up and just do a little go around kind of thingy, turn around kind of thing. Or we will, you know what we'll do, we'll push back nose to the right. I think that's makes a lot more sense. That's a little moment. So push back nose to the right, so facing south. And we'll follow from Alpha 4, and then we'll get into the Golf section here, Golf 1, Golf 2, etc. Just take us to Uniform 2, then we'll take a left turn. That looks like the least complicated way to get there. So that's basically our taxi briefing complete, if you want. For the Q&H, here, let's check that again. Looks like we're getting a little bit late.
May I see your boarding pass?
So QNH 1019, wind 340, 19 knots, so it's quite windy.
This way, please.
So 1019, can dial that in here.
May I see your boarding pass?
And we can also put in our cruising altitude 360.
This way, please.
Feels like the simulator might be a little bit sluggish today. Maybe it's just generating like a shitload of traffic, I don't know. We got a step pushing back there.
This way, please.
Can turn on the constraints.
This way.
She definitely feels a little bit sluggish for some reason, don't know why. So 99 passengers, so they're almost finished actually. So what we'll do,
Hello.
let's turn on the beacon. We open our fuel pumps. We'll start the APU.
This way, please.
So do remember, we're letting things being handled now by GSX. So that means that once the I think that's what's doing. Once the APU is available, it will just go to taxi, basically pushback. I mean.
Hello.
Let's go back to our NSD page. Flap open, the N1 is almost at 100%, EGT is now dropping, should stay usually around 400 degrees or something. APU is available, we turn on the APU bleed. There you go, and then we can disconnect the ground power unit that has been disconnected, or at least from our end. Have a look at ground services. You can hear the sound of the jetway leaving as well. GPU is gone. Okay.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
No, we are not, but do your thing. So load sheet. Refuel weight 54.8. And I think we could maybe actually just go to mass and balance.
Departure checks completed. Bypass being inserted.
And we just set to MCDU. That gives us the correct numbers. It's quite convenient. We do need the performance page.
Locking gear.
So they're locking the gear. So let's see if we can be in sync with them. So the sync sheet, the final sync sheet, sync sheet. Sync the load sheet. Oh my god, man. Sometimes it's okay to breathe, Arkady. Just breathe a little bit, and then you think, and you know, first you chew, then you swallow, and then you speak. Alright, so we calculate. I think it's winding about the flight controls there, that's alright. I'm not going to check, I'm not going to select anything yet. We did calculate. You can send it to the MCDO, for sure. That has been sent. But we will have a look at it. Our V1 speed is 150, rotate 150, V2 151. Our transition altitude is 4,000 feet. Let's have a look at our departure chart. Out of runway 02, and then we have the IXIDA. So after departure, fly runway heading 032 degrees, and then at 3,000 feet at MPAD, we'll take a right turn to Papa Tango 751. Have to be there at or above flight level 70. Airport elevation 355 feet. Transition altitude 4,000, so we have that indeed. Thrust reduction acceleration altitude makes sense then at 1830. Flex takeoff temperature 70 degrees, flaps 1. So that should now all be in here. 150, 150, 151, 4,000 feet, 1830, 70 degrees, flaps 1. So I think we're good to go. Let's call GSX again. And we're going to push back with the nose to the right. We'll continue pushback. Nose to the right, tail to the left.
Release the parking brakes, please.
Let's first clear out this message. Parking brake release.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Alright, so let's start up engine number 1.
and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
So would there be a way to listen in? I would like that. Could be. Okay, but that's not it. Intercom is already on. So I don't think we can. Whoops. Let's do a couple of things. That's the clunk. Let's set the squawk. That's the 121. Let's start up engine number 2. So basically that's already our runway, right? So just go that way, turn right, turn left, something like that.
Please set parking brakes.
Alright, parking brake.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
You got the partner. So let's close the flight deck door here. And we lock it. And let's have the bad motherfucker stay out. So predictive winch here. So we have 2 running engines. We can confirm now.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
So what's a little nice in the Airbus, you don't have to switch from APU generators to the main generators or the engine generators. You can just turn off the APU and the APU bleed.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Alright, cool. So again, it's winding a little bit. The estimated fuel on board, 3.1, when we touch down. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the fuel planning. Yeah, not really sure. I don't mind too much, and should we need it, we could probably like refill or whatever in mid-air, but we're not doing that. We'll just leave it whine at us. Alright, so we can start taxiing. So let's get our heads on straight here. So on my turn-off lights, we'll turn those on, and the nose wheel steering light go to taxi. Beacon is on, the strobe will turn on at the runway. Wing inspection light we do not need. We can turn on the nav and logo. And a couple of things. Flaps 1. And the auto brake to max. So now at parking brake and it gets to a standby mode. Seatbelt sign is no smoking signs are on. And I'm thinking that's pretty much it. We could do a flight control check. Where is it? Flight control. So left aileron, full left and neutral. Full right and back to neutral. Elevate. Full up and neutral and fully down. and neutral. And we got our rudder left, neutral, and the rudder right, and neutral. So that's the cabin reporting ready. Hello.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
That's an awesome job, thank you. Can also arm the ground spoilers for takeoff. And really, there's nothing else I can come up with. So I guess we'll have to just get going, which is very cool. So parking brake released. Let's got the parking brake again real quick. Just have one more look at the airport layout. So we're here Alpha 4. So we'll take a left. Basically it's the, a right. So the first to the right, and that will take us to the runway, and then we'll take a left there on uniform. As you can see, the aircraft is at idle, and I'm just releasing the parking brakes, and we start moving. So that's our British Airways livery. So maybe upon landing, we flew this plane yesterday, and I gave a little bit of rudder input right before touchdown, or at least I thought it was a little bit, but it turned out to be quite a lot really. And it's not like we exploded or anything, everything went fine. Just was probably a little bit scary for some of the people in the back. The aircraft should be totally fine, I think. So here comes our right turn. And then we just follow the, not sure what it is it Swiss? Oh, that's a tap. That's a tap that we saw departing earlier, I think. So there's some departing traffic, incoming traffic. The SAS, I believe, behind us somewhere. Right, so we should have uniform here. So ground speed 20 knots, so let's bring it down to around 15 or something. Doing that stuff at the same time, taking a turn and zooming in on the sign on the ground, it's not always a good idea. There's a Brussels Airline there, waiting for takeoff, waiting for incoming traffic there on approach. I don't know what happened to the Brussels Airline. I cannot remember seeing it move. But here we are. Just now waiting for the tap to line up. Well, I guess we can turn on our TCAS now. Takeoff config test. Takeoff config normal. Okay, so I do not see any traffic on the approach side there. So let's just assume that the pilots are setting some things up first. I don't know. There they go. Looks like they're doing a rolling takeoff. There you go. So we can just go ahead and line up unless there's some traffic inbound. Does not look like it. So let's line up. Runway 02. Here at Portugal, Lisbon airport in Portugal. Should have turned on the landing lights. That's something you cannot do in a simulator while taxiing, unless you have some hardware, I guess. Or if you have like a couple of heads or and screens and hands. Right, so we're in position. Parking brake set. Let's quickly turn on the landing lights, and the nozzle steering lights go to takeoff, and the strobe goes to on. We'll turn off the packs for takeoff. Then we start the time. And we'll set our takeoff thrust. We go. Do we have the parking brakes set? I think we have the parking brakes set. Yeah. Parking brakes released. Flags MCT. So 150, I believe, was our V1 speed. Must say it's a bit of a challenge to keep us straight on the runway with those 19 knots wind. Alright, here's our rotate.
Traffic.
It's a bit of a messy takeoff, but we're up. Gear is coming up. Gear up. City of Lisbon. Okay, thrust reduction, acceleration, so let's go to the climb, descent. Thrust levers to climb. And you know, should go down, the speed's getting a little bit low. I do not like that. And I'm going to turn on the autopilot now, so 81. So we got 81, 152 auto thrust, thrust is to climb. We're climbing for the blue altitude, 36,000 feet, ever following lateral navigation. Thank you for the reminder. Let's turn on the packs. And we'll also turn off the nozzle steering light now. And on return of light 2. This one we can ignore. Here's our transition altitudes. We can now go to standard pressure on both sides. And there's our flat top speed, I think. That's a little orange marking there. Flaps up now. I hope I'm not bullshitting here. Let's see, do we see anything? Current speed 205 knots, so I think that's okay. Yeah. Alright, flight plan. So on the way from Ampa to Papa Tango 751. That's looking good so far. Let's have a look out the window. Oh, that looks horrible. Let's check the other side. Well, let's get ourselves back to the flight deck now. So we're almost at 10,000 feet. Climbing 3,300, 3,200 feet per minute now. Speed 250 knots. Here's 10,000 feet. The nose will come down. So we'll still keep on climbing. We can turn off the landing lights. And we can retract them. Seatbelt sign can come off too. And then we're pretty much done here with the departure, at least with the takeoff. So the air page showing now 24, 24, 25, so we could definitely do something about those temperatures. Wait, that's the wrong one. So the cockpit can be nice and low, and the cabin makes it a little bit lower. First stop of climb is right there in about 100 miles or so. Probably see this on the perf page as well. It's 104 miles, 1736. Let's see flight control left side stick fault, calibrate null zones. I'll have a look at that later. flying. So this is our office for today. The Airbus A320 with British Airways livery. The A320-200 unlisted, the Fenix. So I just took off, but if my free cam wants to work, about 9 minutes ago. For the IXIDA departure, and we're almost at IXIDA. And then up next will be TOSDI. And where is our top of climb? Looks like it's a little bit cluttered, because it's, oh there it is, right at the very end on the page here. Alright, so top of climb is up on us as well. So, today I was talking to ChatGPT instead of reading the user guide, user manual, because I was wondering about these two buttons. You have the cab and the intercom, or interphone, not really sure what the IT, but something internal, right? So when the cabin crew calls us, like they did before takeoff, we would turn on this one basically to hear them, but we could only hear them once we pressed, when we turn on our microphone. I don't think we actually need to. Let's see, it says call Mac ATT. Not really sure what that means. I would think this is your microphone, but in any case, I'm not really sure now which button to use to address the cabin. I would assume cabin, so basically the cabin should now be able to hear us. So, hello, you hear us? This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard British Airways 812 on our flight to London Heathrow. We're very happy to have you on board. We have turned off the seatbelt sign. And I think so, let me just check. Yeah, look at that, we've turned off the seatbelt sign, so you're all free to do whatever you want. Just do not jump. And do not jump out of the airplane either. But please keep your seatbelts on. Usually that's the safest thing to do. Once it starts burning, you have to put it on, or we'll throw you out. Okay? So our flight time for today's flight is going to be 2 hours and 6 minutes. We'll be cruising at an altitude of 36,000 feet. Which is about 10-11 kilometers. And the weather in London today will be 17 degrees, or sorry, will be 15 degrees. But there will be a couple of clouds close by. It will not be too windy. There's nothing romantic I can make of this, so I hope you enjoy your flight. On behalf of British Airways and the entire crew, once again, welcome aboard. Something like that. So I would think it's actually that button, right? I mean, cab, intercom, but I don't know. So there is a PA button. That's it, come on. Oh, hello. I must apologize to ChatGPT. ChatGPT said there is a PA button. But Chat could also have said, listen Arkady, there is a PA button. You might not say it is there, but it is there. But, you know, here we go, whatever. So that's the PA button. This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard our flight. We will land over there. Thank you. Something like that. Alright, okay. So I made a fool out of myself. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. So we're still climbing now through 28,400, 20,500 feet, speed 290. climb coming up there. Well, let's have a look. The top of descent will probably be in about 1 hour and 50 minutes or something. Let's go to the first page, and I believe it should already say it. The climb. Well, next phase. To top of descent, 1905. That's in about 90 minutes. So we got about 90 minutes of bullshit, and then we'll start to land, or start descending. Let's see on the flight one page. It is no longer complaining. It was earlier, I believe, at 3.1. Now it's saying estimated fuel on board 3.0, but for some reason that is now acceptable. Not really sure why that is. Spotted something up here. Okay, wow, that's pretty dark. That looks quite efficient though. Yeah, there you go, we can test. Oh, that's cute. Just as long as you hold it, I like it. Oh, pretty sweet. Let's watch the... let's keep her climbing for a little bit. And I'll step up into the galley, and then I'll be back. Don't wish I just a high will lie up here in the sky. Well, I'm a poet and I don't even know it. On our way to TOSDI and now the Zulu Mike and Romeo VOR in 43 miles. So top of descent will be in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. As I said, not a very long flight. And here is the progress of the sun. So what we can do in a little bit is prepare for our arrival. So if we go to our OFP, we can see that we have the ROXOG 1 hotel arrival for runway 09 left. Okay, so if we check the weather at our arrival, this was issued 1650. There's an update at 1720. What's the time now? It's almost 50 again. Yeah, so we'll probably have another update shortly. So the weather now, wind coming from 090, so runway 9 is good for us. 9 knots. The wind's varying from 60 degrees to 120 degrees. We've got 10 kilometers visibility. Not really sure what the NCD means. 15 degrees, QNH 1021. That's the current weather. So I'm expecting this not to change too much, but who knows? But we're not super far out, right? So we got that in there. We got Echo Golf Lima Lima 09 left. That is our destination now, basically. But there is the top of descent, BOLRO, ROXOG, MTOP, and so on. We get a couple of waypoints. And then there will be a discontinuity, as you can see. And then all of a sudden there is the center fix 09 left. So let's have a look at that. So we open Navigator off in our case and go to airport, London Heathrow approach. The approach chart never puts it in here for some reason. Runway 09 left, that will be ours. ILS DME. We'll put a little pin next to it. So at some point it will take us to, let's see, do we have it on here, the center fix? We got final fix, I believe, FF09 left. We should probably come after this one. There you go. So let's have a look at our arrival chart. So ROXOG, MTOP back to Hazel. This is all taking us to the Ocon VOR, and then from there probably we'll get back. Runway 09 means we will fly basically in this direction and then take a right turn, more or less. So let's see, do we have the OC? We do have the OC, I remember seeing it, so Lima Lima Sierra 01. Lima Lima Sierra 01, that's taking us to OC. There's a decel point, so our speed will decelerate, or our aircraft will decelerate. And flight plan discontinuity. And if we were to hook these together, it's probably going to look a little bit funny. Let's go to the plan page, see what this looks like from a little bit closer. So there's the Ocon VOR, and you can see this is our path to the runway. So this is not going to be very nice. I would prefer to actually fly from Hazel just straight up. I don't know what they do around London area. You know, you get taxed obviously. During periods of congestion, traffic may be routed via Ocon 1 Zulu as directed C. What the hell is Ocon 1 Zulu? warning, do not proceed beyond Ockham VOR without ATC clearance. So we are allowed to fly here. So probably just take a left turn here then. We do not, so let's have a look at the plan page here. So at Ockham, we just probably fly the reciprocal of the runway heading, so we could fly 270. We could do that. We could put 270 in the box, or the window, whatever you want to call it. It is not turning because we are, is it? No, it should still be following lateral navigation. I think that's just a coincidence. So 270, which is pre-dialing this, in case we need to fly it ourselves using heading mode. Check the flight plan here for a second, just to be sure. Oh, that's looking good. We're on our way to NUBLO. And that actually starts taking a right turn again. Yeah, so it's just a coincidence. Just at the moment the aircraft turned left while we were putting the heading box to the left as well. So it's interesting. Let's see how this works. It keeps saying 270 there now. I don't mind, but it's a little bit funny. We got a company message, probably because we departed too late. Or departed late. So we'll look at that in a little bit. So let's return to the planning of our arrival and final approach, really. So the flight will be Ockham VOR. Just thinking, is there maybe a waypoint that we could find somewhere down here that we just enter a waypoint rather than vectoring? Both can work. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. For instance, there's the Farnborough, that's not the VOR. Okay, I'll take that back. NDP, I think that is. Yeah, it's NDP. Oh, that's the holding, one of the holding points. So that's not going to be for us. Thinking probably just what I said earlier. We'll just fly heading. Actually, not 270, but oh, this is resetting it. Oh, well, we'll just reset it. That's alright. Nav 81, 152, yeah. Out cruise, we're cruising now. Yeah, so what's our landing fuel now? 3.1 again. Yeah, so just flight 269 degrees. Just take a left turn once we reach the Ockham VOR. We'll just take a left turn and then we'll go back north. So now it would be nice to have two arrangements. One for the start of the ILS, or sorry, of the glide slope at 2,500 feet. Let's have a look at a couple of things. So we see the ILS here, final approach course 089, and we've got 110.3 for our local license that is identified as India Alpha Alpha. And we can see here on the chart at 7.5 DME, that's what the D stands for, this is measuring equipment. At 7.5 nautical miles from India Alpha Alpha, there is this point. So we need 7.5, so probably put in 7, because I don't think it likes decimals, the MCDO. And I would like a ranging around the touchdown zone, basically, of 7.5 nautical miles, so that it will end like that. And then also want one at 50 nautical miles, so that when we look here for the planning right now, we can sort of visualize for ourselves how far that would be. Let's first start with the fix for the runway. So Echo Golf Lima Lima 09 on the left. So to do that, you click any waypoint and then go to Fix Info. So Echo the radio will be 269 degrees. The radius was 7.5, I believe it said, 7.5. Let's see if it likes the decimal 5 then maybe. And it rounds us up to 8 nautical miles. So we could say before we reach the 8 nautical miles mark, we would like to be fully established and configured so that we can get into the glide slope area for our final approach. So this is 8 miles. So we can already see, like from this, can we maybe zoom in a little bit more? Will it work for us? Not quite. We use like this. So we'll be flying Hazel, Lima Lima Sierra 01, then there's the Ocon VOR, where we'll take a left turn. And we could maybe go for like 20 miles or something, and not 15. I'm not sure how to add another one in here. Can we maybe say 269er again? Let's try that. 269er. So that's still the same, but it doesn't allow us any other radius really. So go to clear the second one there. We'll just go to the next fixed page, I guess. A bit of a drag. To the left. There, that's it. And then again, radio 269er. And the radius, let's say 20 nautical miles. See what that's going to look like. So we're at Ocon VOR. We'll be flying to Ocon VOR, and then we'll take turn left heading in heading mode. Then, for instance, we could then take a right turn to 360 degrees due north, and then take a right turn and turn on the localizer, something like that. Should probably work out. So for now I'm just going to keep it like this. So after Ocon, let's leave the discontinuity in then. I think that's what we'll do. Go back to ARC. So the time is now 17:57. So in about 1 hour we'll start our descent. Check on our first page. To top of descent, 18:58. It's in about 1 hour and 12 seconds. If this were like, that precise, but it's 478 nautical miles to go. Right, so we're at cruising altitude. We are now 42 minutes into the flight. Engines are looking nominal. Let's check where we have it. British Airways Ops. Sent ADC for 5 minutes, so we got a 5-minute delay. The ADC delay card on company tablet and allocate as for OM. I'm not really sure what that all means. Let's see what this is. Sent ADC for 5 minutes. Okay, well, that's spamming us now. That's what's going on. So you can do this, you go to the main page, that's the delay allocation card. And I don't know what's wrong, just poor planning. Is there a reason that's called simulator restart? That is so funny. Why would that be? We're just going to OTH, miscellaneous, other. Doesn't matter too much. It's all a little game, So I think we can go back to AOC manual, and there is ADC delay. And then the delay code OTH. That's what was called, right? OTH, other, OTH. about the time. I believe it was 5 minutes, right? We send it. KLC menu, and I think then you go to receive messages, and it will just say that it's received. Yeah, so that's it really. AOC menu. And there's no company message, the no smoking sign is still on, and that's supposed to be. So that's it, we sort of set up for our arrival. We can check some other things. We know that the glide slope will start to take us down at 2,500 feet. I'm going to add this here in the window, 2,500. But I'm not clicking anything yet, so I'm not activating or anything. So that's one thing. And then we'll have our decision altitudes, and we can easily go just for 50 feet radio altitude. There's definitely some terrain there below us. Right, so for the radio altitude 50 feet, we go next phase, that's descent, and one more, and that's approach. So it already knows that we will land at ILS 09 or left. It does not know the radio altitude that it needs, so that will be 50. That is in. Current approach peak would be 132 knots. QNH, the temperature, and the wind, we will set those later. Also, I guess a good reminder to show this page empty, but I don't think I'll forget anyway, but let's do it like that. But at least we got the bits in that will not change, which is like 50 feet from the decision height. We could again have a look at the secondary flight plan. So once we activate this, first copy active in any case. This is secondary flight plans. You could activate it, which we will not do. We could, for instance, let's have a look. If we go to the inner page, and what is our alternate airport? I never really look at these things, you know, but that's also interesting to yeah, to look at it as well. So Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. But can we just change it? Invalid entry. So if you do it like this, Echo Golf Charlie Charlie, would it accept that? That it actually would accept. I'm curious but now if we, for instance, press init request, obviously the Echo Golf Charlie Charlie is going to go. AOC secondary flight plan uplink. Interesting. So you do still have all these pages in here, that's interesting, the performance page. I just called from within the secondary flight plan page, rather, by the software of it. So we can copy the active, we can look at our secondary flight plan, we can delete our secondary flight plan, we can activate it, we can change its inner page. And we can go to the performance page, which has all the phases. So it's the takeoff phase, and we have climb, cruise, and descent. So it's quite interesting. It's nice to just get my head around this as well. The secondary flight plan. We don't copy for now. Let's actually do that. So we copy the active one. So this is again to Echo Golf Lima Lima, so that's London Heathrow. Let's say we want to take a different, let's say the wind has changed and we're landing 27 right. So I was trying earlier, I don't think we can change it through here. Arrival, so far so good. ILS 27 right, that is actually accepting. That's the, yeah, that's because my left control joystick is moving on its own a little bit. So do we have the ROXOG 1 hotel? Looks like it. What do we say we want the Ockham 1 Zulu? It is changing it. So there's no way here to sort of like insert or anything, so we just go return. it looks like that is what it would change to, I guess. So after OG, you go Dorky, Healy. Let's have a look at it. Let's find out. So we go to airport, and we're already at Heathrow. So do the start for the arrival chart, and then we have the Ockham 1 Zulu. Ockham 1 Zulu, R9 arrival. Let's just open this and have a look. So from Ockham to Dorky, Healy, being in VOR. So what's this saying? Ockham, Dorky, Healy, decel point, and then the big in VOR. And there is a discontinuity, and then there's the center fix for 27 right, and the final fix for 27 right. So yeah, looks like this would definitely work. Very nice actually. It's yeah, it's quite convenient. So you could basically, for instance, keep your entire flight intact, and you could just switch between these two between these two runways and arrive. And obviously we could then check, will Biggin line up correctly with the center fix 27 right, and we're not doing that. I can imagine that in real life you would actually check that out as well. You want to know all your options, right? There's different things at stake in real, obviously. But for our purpose, for today, you know, it'll be fine. Should we need to do it, we'll do it anyway. If you don't have to do it now. So we'll just click that away. Well, where the hell are we actually? So we just left Portugal. And now on our way to France. So that's the secondary flight plan, really. So we're not activating it, we're also not deleting it. I'm not really sure what I mean AOC flight plan insert. I'm not clicking it, I don't want to find out right now. If you copy active, will probably overwrite what we just did here. Let's do that, just to play around with it. Echo Golf Lima 09 on left, there you go, that's what sort of revert. That's pretty sweet. Now I'm not thinking the weather will change significantly. A320 Zulu, 1750, 080 10 knots. So nothing really changed a whole lot there. Just like yesterday over Europe, lots of clouds, look at that. number of the sunshades. The aircraft, I believe it has them as well. But we're sure now. Oh, there you go. The other one sitting right there behind the tablet. We cannot use it because the tablet is there in the way. Yeah. I believe there might have been a way to put the tablet, not sure if this is, if that's in this aircraft, to put the tablet not on the window but like a little bit lower. Auto disconnect GPU on pushback, auto deboard, auto connect GPU on arrival, auto pushback. So that's the auto pushback. And what's saying here, I've never really read this. Auto pushback when enabled, GPU and chocks will be removed. DEGEX pushback will be requested when the beacon light is turned on. The parking brake is set. Okay, that's good to know. All not it. Well, we have settings and there's steam settings. Not sure. Here's the settings. Push over, not sure what that means. Push over user key. Show them API token, but like a service or something. Anyway, let's go back. Fenix. Oops, my flight. Echo Golf Lima Lima. 1750, so that's still the same weather. There you go. So top of descent in about 40 minutes at 1857. Config. Maybe there is something here. Let's look. Pause near top of descent. No, thank you. Failures, maintenance, fuel, passengers and cargo. It's not what I'm looking for, but still interesting. Let's see. Can we get closer? There you go. Controls config. No zone 2%. So what if we say make it 5%? Can we do that? So now let's see if we can turn off the autopilot. So where's our stick? Right here. So let's go left a little bit. And there it goes. Put AP back on. now I would like to experiment some more. Say 25. We go left. And then it goes. Maybe on. I'm gonna look at that again. Let's do a right turn this time. Okay. And let's pilot on. Let's put it at 5. Well, it looks about the same again. Maybe on. Climbs in the advance, aircraft, left, right. Any other pages? Thrust levers, we have the side stick, or rather, right stick slash rather, excuse me. Now we get left side stick fault, calibrate in all zones. So here's thrust levers. Oh, that's what is thrust levers. I'm such an idiot. Let's put it back to 2%. Side stick rudder, flaps. That is it. So we got side stick and rudder. So what are they saying? Roll your max side stick null zone 3. So if you put that, and there's also max another null zone, that might be interesting, but then how the hell are we going to taxi this aircraft? So I might do that not while streaming. I'll have a look at that maybe one day. Max side stick null zone, so if we put that at 20%, well, that makes it 2. I'm going to put it back to 3 then. Just leave it as it is. This was not what I was looking for in any case. Data link, not sure, sim brief, sure, return. Log on or off, maintenance passes, couple percent, never. Manual failures, random failures, fuel, passenger, cargo. I'm not sure if we can choose the position of the EFB. Top of descent, 248 miles. And the weather report will be every half hour, so at 18:20 we should have received the, new weather report should have been issued. This was 1750, so we refresh, 1820, 080, 10 knots. So we're very likely to be landing at runway 09. Sun is still with us. And look at that. Well, basically zoomed in 320 miles, but still, there's our standard runway center line. We're definitely getting a little bit closer every minute. Top of descent in about a little under, let's say 25 minutes, something like that. So we're at 11 kilometers altitude now. And there's absolutely nothing to see below us. So, remember earlier when there was this little message going on in the, on the flight deck, or sorry, on in the cabin. I was clicking like the cabin button and something to, you know, to try and listen in, and nothing was coming. So this is to transmit, hello, check 1 2, check 1 2. And then I'm thinking this might be to receive some sort of sound, but not really sure what. Cannot imagine there is actually a microphone recording everything, but maybe there is, I really don't know. But so next time there is a little message, we could turn this button on and see if we can hear it here in the flight deck as well. I would like that just for sort of have an idea of what's going on behind you. That's always nice, isn't it? So they actually got this little label on here as well. What does that say? Pacific Scientific, Western California, I think. There's a part number. Looks like part number, I don't know. Inspected. Conforming to some FAA criterion or something. That's pretty sweet. Was there anything we could do to these chairs except waving? So waving at us now. Hello. I don't think there is that something. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That is so nice. We can get it out of the way a little bit and just sit in and use the little button again. Pretty cool. Can we do this with our chair as well? I can put it higher and lower. That's so sweet. Look at that. You can put this higher and lower as well then. So, wondering, this is our normal view. So we have the bottom edge of the navigational display and the primary flight display. So let's, for instance, put it all the way up. That's not a whole lot more. I don't think this is changing at all. It's probably not changing the camera. Bring it all the way down. I don't think it changes a thing. But still it's cool. I like to put it up a little bit more, I guess. So it's not like the Fenix team didn't think of things to keep us occupied during cruise. Because there definitely are things that can keep us occupied during the cruise. Still have the sun flying with us. So what's this turn that we're making now? DEGEX to FIFUC. Time 18:39, so our time for descent is 18:56. And then 1921 will be our landing time. So we'll get at least one more decent weather update before we start our descent. And then we'll have maybe one weather update 1 minute after we land. 1000 feet. Time is 1848. On top of descent is coming a lot closer. They're at BOLRO. BOLRO. Let's just call it BOLRO. Time 1848. So there will not be a weather update quite yet, it will be at 1850. But checking nonetheless. So, at some point we'll get a message here saying enter destination data. And when that happens, it wants us to go to the performance page. We're now at the cruise section. Click next phase, and next phase again from descent to approach. And it wants us to enter the approach data here. So that's the QNH, the temperature, the wind, precision flight level. This is sitting there. I don't think we can change this, can we? Let's just try 131. I don't think that would make sense, but we actually can. But let's oops. And we're saying something yellow at the destination data. It's actually coming right now. So if we clear this out, let's do that. Let's go clear. Well, it reverts to what it was. Yeah, there you go, and it's a smaller font now. Not really sure what is the story behind that. Where are we now? Oh, flying over Jersey. Yeah, look at that. So we flew from here the other day. So we were parked right there, and we went this way, and then we took off. We do still have some sunlight with us. We're turning now Jersey VOR to REVTU. The top descent coming a lot closer and closer, 47 miles. I'm going to start up the sky dolly. That is off the screen. That is my recording program. So 1851. See how fast the weather report gets through. 1820. 1820. So it takes a couple of minutes usually in the simulator. Now it looks like golden hour wants to appear. But that's aircraft there. Cool. I think if we go external view, I should be able to zoom in a lot further on it. That's a British Airways, look at that. That's so cool. So it has a tail coming, it has a tail to the left, so it looks like it has the wind coming from its right side. Back inside. Okay, so where is our top of descent? 34 miles. Time is now 1852. Let's refresh the weather. 1820. 1820 still, so no change. So radar BOLRO is our top of the descent. And again, this sometimes looks so bright. Fully sure it's caused by clouds, or at least the illumination of moisture, of humidity in the sky. Could maybe still be. Alright, so we're at REVTU now, and we're turning for BOLRO. Okay, so the time is 18:54. Have another weather update. 18:20. Still 18:20. No weather update yet. Descent coming up. 18:57. Then a little under 2 minutes. 14 miles, 13 miles. Really counting down there. And obviously we can already start descending, even though we do not have the weather. You know, if we miss it by 1 minute, that's not the end of the world. It would be nice to have it, wouldn't it? You can set the auto brake to medium. You can start by doing that. Do not get a mouse there. I can't stand that stuff. Alright, so auto brake, set that for now. Oh, 9 miles. 8. We'll start descending first. We do have a tailwind, so I believe we can. I'm not really sure. I think in my plane both would work. So let's just start descending once we're there. 5 miles to go. Okay, to 50. We do have weather. 1021, 12 degrees. 100 at 10 knots, so we have the same runway. So that's good to know when we start our descent, right? Okay. So 1021. So we'll enter the data momentarily. Here's our top of descent, 2 nautical miles. So let's just start descending now. We go 2500. We go in managed mode. Descent is boxed. And we start to go down, and thrust lever is now going to idle. So that's precisely what we want. So now let's enter our destination data. As I said, it will appear here in the lower, in the scratch pad really. Performance page. Next phase will now be approach. So the QNH is 1021. The temperature, 12 degrees, and then we have the winds 100 at 10 knots. So 12 degrees. 100 10 knots. So runway 09 should work out fine for us. Transition level 065 for London. We just check our arrival chart to double check this. Where does it take it? Okay, so maybe on the final approach chart then. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. So let's just put that to flight level There we go. Giving us a speed 132 with a flat full configuration. We have a radio altitude, so the landing data is now in. And I don't think we'll get an update, because if you look at our time, let's just double check here. 1921 is exactly the time of the 1 minute after the next weather report. And you also know that it takes at least like, I hate that it's doing this, man. It will take like at least 5 minutes for the weather report to come through to us. So we start the descent, so let's also start recording the descent. There we go, that's starting. We got the flight control, left side stick fault. You can just ignore it, clear, and it's gone. So we're on the profile, looking good. So we're approaching United Kingdom now. Look at that. Now I do want to double check 089 110.3. Where's the 089? Actually 089, today's spot on. India Alpha Alpha 110.3. So that is sitting right there where it should be. So expected time of arrival 1920. Yeah, let's strap in the passengers, I guess. So we turn on the seatbelt sign. Actually, yeah, I'm not really sure what this. So this PA to talk to the public address is. What would this then mean? This, as far as I know, there's a volume knob for receiving, and you receive yes or no. I'm not really sure, but let's address the passengers. So 12 degrees, and the weather actually looks quite okay, I guess. Just a little bit windy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have started our descent.
Oh. Shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Press down.
Yeah, so that's working.
You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to keep. The toilets are no longer in service. Thank you.
That's pretty cute. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. In addition, I would like to tell you that we've started our descent, and we expect to arrive in about 18 to 17 minutes at London Heathrow Airport. The temperature will be 12 degrees, and will be a little bit of a windy day. The sun is setting, as you can see. We hope you enjoyed your flight with British Airways, and hope to see you again soon. Something like that. Okay, so by keeping this turned on, I guess, we could hear those messages. So that's interesting. Let's try and remember that. So there's golden hour for us. Look at that. So even though we did set 2,500, the next altitude that it's targeting is flight level 130. Why is that, Arkady? Well, let me tell you. So we are on our way from basically to Bangkok now. And Bangkok doesn't, let's see. so looks like, see back to, oops, oh, don't do that, what the hell is going on? It's that stupid controller I'm telling you. Can you imagine this happening on final approach? So, flight level 130, yeah, so this is a hard constraint, 130 at Hazel, so probably not allowed to go below or above at that waypoint. There you go, 130, precisely 130 is mandatory. So that's why it's sort of limiting temporarily our target altitude. So it will not go below flight level 130. Once we're past Hazel, then we should be able to descend further. Unless that, and maybe it's from that position, but I'm not really sure what this don't mean. But it looks like it could make sense to me. So 18,000 feet now. Let's preset, if we can, our QNH real quick, so that it should be 1021. So it's not too big of a difference. Let's just double check 1021. So 16,500 feet. On our way to Hazel in 10 nautical miles. After Hazel, we'll go to Lima Lima Sierra 01, as we could see when we were planning, and then that will take us to the Ockham VOR, and from there we will actually do another left, so we'll basically fly back. In a sense, we could maybe say from Hazel, for instance, or maybe even from this one, Lima Lima Sierra 01, go direct to the center fix there. Or from here we could, for instance, say let's go to a heading of 360. This would take us like in a straight line to the runway center line extended. So let's just fly to the Ockham VOR first and take it from there. So we will have to dial in the heading 270 degrees or 269, if you want to be really precise and fly the exact reciprocal there. Doesn't matter too much as long as we're moving in the correct direction. So the next part constraint, flight level 70, and that's at the Ockham VOR, which you can see right there. So after Ockham VOR, as you can see, there is no more waypoints, because there will be then the discontinuity. If we go down one page, or one step, then you can see flight line discontinuity. So, Lima Lima Sierra 01 in 8 miles. I will now pre-dial, if it works like that, 269 degrees. We may have to do this again. I don't know how long it takes until it resets, you know. $10,400. Let's start the APU. And we can also turn on our landing lights now. Could maybe even turn on the landing system. There you go. We're already picking up, we're quite close to the airport. So Lima 001 coming up right now. So then we're pressing on to go to the Ocon VOR. And that's in 11.6 miles. As you can see, the heading bug is reset again. Let's go to our current heading. So that's fine, we'll just leave it. We just need to turn it when we actually need to use it, I guess. Speed 250, that's alright, since we're below 10,000. And we're aiming for speed 220. So after Ocon, not sure what it will do, what the logic actually will do, will it, you know, since these waypoints now are not connected. But they're still in the flight plan, so I'm thinking, but basically once we're actually at the, before the center 60911, we're probably already on the localizer anyway, so that it doesn't really matter what waypoints we have, I guess. So 5 miles. So standing by for a left turn to heading 269er. We could maybe even go a little bit less. Let's just do 269er, whatever. Or just fly around like that a little bit. Since there is no way to see, we're just vectoring ourselves what we're doing. The airport is now 12 nautical miles, and this is our position, so it's at our 10 o'clock or so. There it is, the London Heathrow. But we'll need actually to take a left turn to fly like a downwind leg, and then take a right turn. A little bit below the descent profile, looking good though. And 7 miles, so let's do the left turn now. First dial it in, and then see what the NCDU is telling us, and the climbing flight display. Let's actually go to heading mode, look at that. I mean, it's turning left, so I think that is, in this case, not a coincidence like we had earlier. I think this time it's actually deliberate. But we can double check here, and there you go, heading. We're still in open descent, we're now in heading mode. And yeah, this is still active.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Oh, okay, look at that. So that's funny. I'm just gonna leave this on. This is new. Well, to me, this probably was there from day one, I don't know. So standard is flashing, so let's go to local pressure 1021 on both sides. So the airport is to our right. So we'll need to have a little bit of distance before we can line up. So if it's going to 2,500, I think it's telling us that is the point where we'll reach it. So we probably just do a heading hold. Sorry, altitude hold. I'm not really sure how to do that. This one. So let's go 4,000 feet. Just to have it level off here for a bit. So Alt star. And then we just chill like this for a little while. Range 8.6 nautical miles and increasing. And you can see now the range links, why they're quite convenient, right? It helps with eyeballing a certain situation. If we wanted to, we could fly all the way to the 20 nautical mile mark there. If we feel confident, we can take a right turn earlier and just line up using the localizer. So for now, we're just chilling in heading mode at 4,000 feet. We're still above the glide slope. You can see the little diamond shaped figure there. It's only the bottom part of the diamond. So the wind is going a little bit crazy here. Doesn't know how to decide. And the glide slope is now coming closer since we're a little bit further out. So at this position, basically a beam to us, straight to the right. The interception point is a little bit higher. This is our interception point, and below as well, but not above. So this is also helping us, so that at least we know that this is 4,000 feet. For now, we're actually fine. Let's say the runway were to magically appear right in front of our nose right now. Well, you know, still at some distance. Then at least we would know we could just immediately turn on localizer and the glide slope, and it would take us down anyway. So we are not too high or anything. We are, if anything, a little bit too low, but we're not too low. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, so there's the 20 mile mark already coming up. That's going quite fast. So I suggest we take the right turn now. So we'll take a right turn heading 360. And let's turn on the localizer. Localizer armed, blue. We're still at heading mode. We'll now also turn on the runway turn-off lights, the nozzle steering lights, our fuel 3,200 kilograms, APUs available, our landing lights are on. Around 2 hours, 1 minute into the flight. I'm not arming the spoilers just yet, the ground spoilers. Localizer captured, look at that. And this is a good position to be in. We're like 18.5 miles. So it's giving us plenty of time to stabilize on our localizer. We'll just keep an eye on the... let's actually start descending to 2,500 again for our glide slope, otherwise we'll still not make it. What do you say? So we go open descent now. And we should be 2,500 at that blue line. So this is good. You can see we're below the glide slope actually, so that's okay. But we will need to go down a little bit in any case. I wonder if we... well, I don't have to wonder. Can we go manage now? Open descent still, okay. Speed still 250 knots. Probably a little bit high. Speed's now, let's get some speed brakes out. And we arm the approach as well. There's our runway, 09 on the left, flaps 1. Speed brake retracted, and let's arm the speed brake. Our range 12 miles. We're captured by the glide slope, category 3 single, and can we make that double? We can. So the aircraft decelerating now. Let's go flaps 2.
2,500.
Right man, let's do this. Flaps 3. Glide slope. 8 miles or 8.6. Let's drop the gear. We're still 8 miles out. Our speed is getting to the final approach speed, so I think we should be completely like fully configured. So let's first drop our gear and then followed by the full flaps. Again, maybe a little bit early. So 2,000 feet now. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. So I think everything is configured. So we have the auto brake to medium, we have the landing gear green lights, the flaps are full, ground lever as well, and the ground spotters are armed. We have all our lights on, I believe. So that's about everything we can do. And the time is 1921. Could really quickly check if there is a weather update. Would be cute. No. So 100 at 10 knots. So 10 knots is noticeable for sure. So 1300 feet coming up. I got here 12 knots of wind coming from 122. So we're now standing by to disengage the autopilot. Let's just do it now. We're at 1200 feet. So autopilot off. So our decision altitude is really low, 50 feet above the ground. As you can see, we already have a very clear visual of our runway. Now, chasing down a little bit the glide slopes. Nothing too crazy. Only small increments. You can see we're already actually getting a little bit low. So let's go back up around 2 degrees or so. Keep left a little bit. We're still a little bit low here. Cash income. About a 3-degree ground slope. A little bit high now.
Flight slow.
100 above.
I know that was a little bit. I was looking at the wind, and you can
100.
see you missed a little bit of information. Idle.
Minimum 30.
Land.
20. Retard. Drive.
Alright, that's nose gear touchdown. Reverse is out. Welcome to London, everybody. So she really comes to a complete stop. I don't know why that is. So let's exit the runway here to the right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be used. Please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers. Do take care opening the overhead lockers as items not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
It's nice to hear those little messages, isn't it? So the British Airways coming home. So, not really sure what to make of this here. This doesn't look like something you would want to cross. There's no lines, it just looks undefined. I do not want to crash the simulator, or rather the aircraft. This is looking a little bit scary. You know what? I'm going to stop it right here, because I do not want to mess it up. This just looks like a weirdo scenery. But here we are. So let's set the parking brake. And that's it. here we are, parked rogue in the middle of the apron. So once again, welcome to London Heathrow. Thank you very much for checking. I really appreciate people checking my videos, and so thank you very much for that. And I will see you all at the next video. Bye bye.